on early today because we have to be somewhere at 6 o'clock. We're actually going gazing at the stars tonight. We were invited by some friends from our spiritual center who are parts of a Houston astronomy group to go and attend a lecture and then go outside and look through some telescopes and see what they have to offer us. And we'll be leaving here in about 45 minutes. So that is the reason for me being early. Usually I'm late. I apologize for that. But there we are. Let me see. This is called mirror work, and it's actually quite well known. It's a well-known spiritual exercise. I don't know how mental spiritual exercise. Anyway, first quote is from Robert Spira. I had to look him up. He's an English philosopher, author, and potter who says, behind every thought, every feeling, every experience, there is an open, unchanging presence, the knowing of being aware. We are aware that we are aware. And Ernest Holmes in Discover a Richer Life, talking about the inner awareness, says, this inner awareness on our part is not only our awareness of it, but is also its awareness of us. And by it, he's talking about spirit, God, grand of all being, whatever term you wish to use. And this is Rev David Alexender, who says, mirror work appears to be one of the simplest of spiritual exercises. A glance into your own eyes, a few words of affirmation, and yet for many, it feels unexpectedly difficult. He then goes to talk about Louise Hay. If you've never heard of her, she was pretty famous in the New Thought movement. She was a practitioner of science of mind, did a lot of work during the AIDS epidemics, eventually started writing books, and then formed a publishing company. She passed away several years ago. Her publishing company is still around. He says, Louise Hay made this practice famous, inviting people to meet themselves with love and kindness in the mirror. And while it may look basic, for countless souls, this exercise becomes an intimate and a tender challenge to truly witness themselves without judgment. He goes on to say, early in my spiritual work, I began here too. Like many, I assumed that mirror work was a beginner's exercise, a first rung on the ladder of self-discovery. Over time, I noticed, however, that others shared that sentiment. Remembering Louise Hay's work or the old hayride gatherings in Los Angeles, Louise Hay's gatherings, mirror work was spoken of as something primary, foundational, and even a little elementary. He says, but recently, in studying the depth of awareness, I felt called to return to it. This time, it was no starter practice. As I sat before the mirror, gazing into my own reflection, I began to sense something beyond the familiar identity staring back at me. Who is the one seeing? What is the awareness that exists even when the story of myself fades? Rupert Spira calls this being aware of being aware. We become absorbed in our life story, forgetting the ever-present awareness on which everything unfolds. Mirror work, when entered deeply, can lead us back to this vast, unchanging awareness that simply is, and it's expressing through these eyes. We're saying here is, as you probably gathered, that we are expressions of the divine. So when we look at ourselves in the mirror, it's actually the divine that is looking at us, through us, and back at us. So it's another way of becoming aware of all it is. It's another way of just becoming aware of the presence within us of an essence that's much greater than we are. Doesn't mean to say that we don't exist. We do. We're just expressions of this oneness. He says, I meet my reflection with love and awaken to pure awareness. I meet my reflection with love and awaken to pure awareness. And if you've never tried this exercise, give it a shot. Just go stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes and say, I love you, I love you, I love you, and repeat it a bunch of times and see how it makes you feel. Some people do not have a problem at all with that. Some people feel incredibly insecure, and some people just can't do it. So my advice and his advice, and everyone's ever tried its advice, is do it until you can feel comfortable with it. And as always, I've mentioned, if you really cannot do this, if it's really impossible for you to do it, then reach out to a practitioner, a minister, a therapist, and even if necessary, a psychiatrist, because this is something basic that we need to be able to accept ourselves and to be able to accept the fact that we are expressions of one source and it's looking back through our eyes. So that is my message for today. Tomorrow will be Creative Art Spiritual Center's service at 11 o'clock. My colleague, Reverend Lisa, is on the move this weekend, but I'm almost sure she'll be able to squeeze in some time tomorrow to do her reading. It may or may not be 9:15 Central tomorrow. I just don't know. But she'll be there. I'll be back tomorrow evening around about 5 o'clock. So until next time, please take care of yourselves. Enjoy this weather. It's really nice weather. I just went out for a walk before this, and it's really nice. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's not too windy. It's not raining like it was last night. It's just really nice out there. So if you have the opportunity within the next hour or two, just go out there before it goes dark and stay safe and enjoy some sunlight. So until next time, namaste.